We are heading into a brand new week of daily races, and this time we're at Autopolis with Group 4 cars. I know this combo might not feel great for everyone since there is not that much strategy involved and it's really just a one-stop race, more a formality rather than a tactical decision since you don't even need to change the tires. With that said, this setup might actually appeal to those drivers who just want to jump straight into the race without thinking too much about it. So just race, have fun, and see where it takes you. So that's exactly what I did, and to my surprise, the races turned out to be pretty enjoyable. I mean, let's just race like this. And off we go. Start was okay. It's just so weird because I know now my microphone is here. Maybe. Yeah, okay. Sorry, man, but... And now all I had to do was just stay with the guys up ahead. Standing starts are usually a bit messy, but I actually gained a position and my race got off to a solid start. Into the next lap now, not much happened. I just tried to stay as close as possible to the group up ahead. But my main issue were not the drivers around me, it was actually the tire temperature. They were holding me back from pushing the car to its limits. And as you can see, those front tires were already getting really hot. And once they pass a certain point, you start losing grip fast. The degradation kicks in and the tires really degrade in a much faster rate than usual. Even so, Luke managed to make a very nice move into turn 1 and I just found myself right behind P2. But I quickly realized I was losing too much time sitting behind him. There weren't going to be any real chances of going for it, at least in a clean way. So I decided to go for an early pit stop, and this really shows how powerful an early stop can be. Once I was back out, my job was pretty simple, push hard and, well, try to do a couple of clean laps. And after those couple of laps, I saw the Italian driver who was in P2 coming out of the pits. And at this point, I knew I had a decent shot to go for it. I think I made it work. And it looks like the undercut worked out in this situation. But now I had a really quick driver behind me, pushing hard to get the position back after losing it through the pits. Defending on this track isn't the hardest thing in the world, but it still puts you under pressure. You've got to stay sharp, and turn 1 is probably the best place to go for a move, and sure enough, he went for it. I shut the doors, and just like that, we were locked in a battle again. I just wanted to show you that this moment is probably the best way to highlight how much time you can actually lose by fighting someone on the track. Even though it doesn't seem like much, a second here can, well, disappear quite easily. And the second lost in the pits can mean a lot. So if you're aiming for a strong result on even potentially looking for a podium or even P1, you have to avoid getting caught in too much battles. But at the same time, I wanted to hold my ground and get as close as possible to the leader. And that's never easy, especially under pressure and of course managing the tires in this situation and actually having less grip than I expected. Yeah, the Italian is really close. Yeah, I'll just hold my position here. I think he will have a decent shot of overtaking here, but let's see. Maybe. I think he overshot it slightly, but okay. That works for me. But now Luke is in P1 and he extended his lead. He was 17.7, now it's 18.1. And yet I'm trying to be all defensive here. And as our battle went on, the rest of the field completed their pit stops and I found myself in second place. I had to keep defending, but at the same time I was looking for any chance to close the gap to P1. But unfortunately not much happened in the following lap and I just held my position and brought it home without any major changes. All in all, after those intense battles and just the flow of this race, I'm pretty happy with the result. But now, let me show you my second race of the day, one that was even more eventful. And this time, I really went all in for that P1, and I tried to make some smart calls and kind of give myself a shot for the top spot on the podium. And look at... well, he tried to make it work. And the start of the race actually looked pretty promising. The two Italian drivers up in the front didn't waste any time. They went straight into the battle, sending it into almost every corner. There was a bit of a contact, but nothing too dirty, just aggressive racing. And this track is incredibly narrow, which makes overtaking really difficult. And one of the Italian drivers ran slightly wide, and I just saw that small opening and I went for it, but it didn't quite work. Otherwise, it would have been a major incident. This action didn't stop there, and after the twisty sections coming onto the long straight, and of course with custom slipstream, it was clear we are going to be all fighting for, well, those top steps of the podium. The battle between the two Italians kept heating up, and I was just waiting for the right moment, hoping I could potentially slide in and maybe snatch a position. And this time, it actually worked. I managed to get myself into second place, which really boosted my chances of a strong finish. I didn't want to push too hard against the leader just yet, and I figured we could just try to build a gap to the rest of the field and then go for it in the later stages of the race. But then, coming out of the last turn, he ran wide, and that just gave me kind of a good run down. Like, it's really wide, even off the track almost. Okay, that was kind of a good save. Yeah. Well, there we go. It's okay. You just keep it up. Just keep it up. Just keep it up. I guess the race just started here. And yes, it was quite an interesting start of the race. I got a few pushes, but it was all okay. And now I kind of managed to get myself in P3, and well, it was starting to look good again. And especially if the two Italian drivers up there start to battle it out. And this would just give us a chance to close in really fast. Still, there wasn't much that I could have done unless the two Italians really committed to their fight. So I made a call to pit early, and Luke followed me as well. We didn't battle each other in the pits or in the following lap, and we just knew fighting would only cost us time, so we tried to work together. And a lap later, the rest of the field pitted, and I came out in P8. But the driver who had been running second before the stop now found himself leading the race. That put me right behind the former leader, which meant that I had a real shot at getting past now P1. And if we played it smart, we could potentially pull away from the rest of the field and even fight for, I hope, for a win in this race. So I decided to give the Italian driver a little bump draft to kind of help us both gain time. And now we are heading into the one, I would say, one of the most interesting moments that I had in this whole day. Because the gap needs to drop. I think we are safe. We are going to get that P1, but let's be safe. But now we got one guy that hasn't pitted yet. Maybe he will pit now. But it's still 16-7, so it's okay. I think we will still overtake. Thank you, Pegasus. Thank you. Oh! Oh, he's got like demolished there. And after checking the replay, I think it was just a misunderstanding. I don't think the driver who moved to the side saw Luke coming, and unfortunately it turned out even worse for Luke because he was handed up a 5-second penalty for that. So in the end, neither of them gained anything from that situation. well, Luke got a 5-second penalty and Pegasus' race was destroyed. So once again, I kind of tried to avoid incidents because it's really easy to get into one of those, and just wanted to stay in contention for P1. But we have to work smart, and we really have to take the most out of the situation. It was just obvious. Don't fight, and eventually just go for it when the air is clean. And that's exactly what I had in mind. Whoa. But I mean, this thing is stable. I think he's just waiting to pit later. You know what? Let's try to go wider. He always goes deep into this corner. I'm going for it. We got 16 seconds. That's okay. I don't think it's worth changing the tires here. Maybe in some really weird situation, but the way it is, I don't think it's worth it. But what was worth it was the move that I just pulled off. And in this race, second place is kind of an advantage because our leader still needs to pit. And the gap that we managed to build is now just over 16 seconds, which meant that there was a really strong chance that the leader might just come out behind us. Still, the race isn't over yet, and anything could happen from here on out. I think we are easily going to overtake now. Yeah. But he might just go for it. Park it on the apex. And that was it for this race. I managed to hold the gap and it actually worked out. The driver behind me didn't really have a chance to go for a move, and the track is just too narrow, especially through the middle section where overtaking is almost impossible. The gap just kept growing, and before I knew it, I was P1. And this race really showed that even when overtaking is tough, there is always a smarter way to approach a challenge. Work with others when you can, avoid unnecessary battles, and really focus on the bigger picture. And in the end, it all pays off. Once again, thanks for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit that like button or maybe even subscribe to the channel. And until the next time, bye.